And Sarah Kimani joining us live from Nairobi now. Sarah, thank you for laying out the credentials of these two men. So any indication yet who's in the lead?
Well, it's difficult to tell who is in the lead because the tallying center here, where we are now, the National Tallying Center, is still receiving a form called the Form 34A, and they're now compiling the results that are in those Form 34As. Now, Form 34A is the final form that contains the results of the presidential election results. So far, very tight. Sometimes Ruto is leading with a margin of 800,000. Other times, you will find Odinga leading with the same margin. So it has been seesawing all day. The difference sometimes 2%, 1%. So until maybe early tomorrow morning or late tomorrow evening, we still cannot be able to tell who between these two gentlemen is going to carry the day. But it is clear now that the race is between former Prime Minister Raila Odinga and Deputy President Ruto.
And is counting going slower than expected, and why? It does sound like there have been some delays.
Well, counting is done. What is happening now is the tallying, because counting happens at the polling stations. For example, where you voted yesterday, at exactly 5 p.m. when the polling stations closed, counting began immediately, and that was put in one of the forms. The agent supervised that, and then that is now taken to what is called the county tallying centers. Those county tallying centers are the ones that send those results here to Nairobi. That has already happened. When we spoke to the chairman of the Electoral Commission, Wafula Chebukati, he was saying 97% of the counties, of the constituencies had actually done that. They had returned their tallies. That is now in the system, in the public portal. And what is happening now is that the clerks here are trying to put that together. You're talking about more than 46,000 polling stations. So the process is slower, probably because the number of polling stations was increased this time, but also because the IEBC says it's trying to be as transparent as possible and to ensure that there are no mistakes, so that there will not be a repeat of what we saw in 2017.
And of course there has been no violence, but how are Kenyans sort of processing this election? We spoke yesterday about the low turnout. It seems slightly lower than predicted, in fact. What are they saying post the polls?
Well, much of the chatter is still on social media. Early in the morning, there was a lot of fake news doing the rounds, with the two main coalitions trying to outdo each other in announcing results. And it turns out much of what was being announced in the morning was fake, and that has been called out by the Electoral Commission and also by civil society organizations that are monitoring the results. However, it is true that the turnout was low. The chairperson of the commission, Wafula Chebukati, is saying from the electronic voter identity kits, about 56.4% of the people voted, of the registered voters, are the ones who cast their ballots. That's about 14.1 million people out of 22.1 million registered voters. He says the number may slightly increase, but it is definitely going to be lower than the 78% that cast their ballots in 2017. Now, a lot of explanations flying around, analysts saying young people could not identify with the people on the ballot. Other people saying Kenyans were just basically tired of voting the same leaders day in, day out, and they wanted a change, and they did not see like that change would come. Others saying that Kenyans are hungry and they preferred to actually go out and look for food, even though it was a public holiday. It is very difficult to tell right now who actually came out to vote in terms of age. So those who are saying that it is the youth that shunned the vote, we will still have to wait and see.
All right, and please keep us updated as those results come in. That was Sarah Kimani, SABC News Correspondent, live from Nairobi.